Okay, so for the second update in June, we have a very short update, only pages 651 to 655, which scares me because that means it could be an actually short update, or I could have a novel to read in these 4 pages. So let's see which one it is. Technically, the machine's stabilizing the plot point. The actual point is that ominous-looking bit in the middle. That's it. That's it. It looks sort of small and shitty. It's actually anything but. It is paradoxically massive and incomprehensibly powerful. So much so that the fact that anybody was able to contain it at all is a miracle in and of itself. But as much as I'd like to sit here and congratulate myself on the achievement of its stabilization, more miraculous still is what we intend to achieve with it. And you, Vriska, are going to be instrumental to the success of this endeavor. No shit, that's kind of my whole thing. You're more correct than you know. As we've already explained to John, this world is currently mired in a state of, well, let's call it dubious pertinence. I fucking knew it. John, didn't I tell you? I totally did tell him. I've been saying that this world is complete bogus for ages now and nobody's been listening. Yet here I am, right again. Shocker. You should listen to Calliope, John. They might have pretty weird taste in fashion, but they obviously know what they're talking about, where the shitty fake shittiness of this joke of a timeline is concerned. Clearly, we need to do something. That was perhaps a tad reductive and sort of rude, but you're certainly correct in your assessment that something has to be done about this. I'll keep this short. I know John's already heard a good deal of this explanation previously, and you seem to be catching on quick. So, earlier, you mentioned that you've had a keen sense from the beginning that something was amiss here. Although our world isn't necessarily bogus, and it certainly isn't fake per se, we are, in effect, completely cut off from the wider canon of reality, to borrow a phrase from a slightly earlier me. We're keeping quarantined here by means of existing within a massive black hole, from which escape seems essentially impossible. That's where you come in. You see, we're hoping to leverage your unique hyper-relevance here to... Oops, let me back up. The reason we brought you here specifically is because the plot point over there corresponds to the singularity at the exact center of our aforementioned plot prison. Important bit of info, that. Now, to reiterate, we want to escape that prison, and not just as individuals either. No, the hope is that we'll be able to emancipate our entire world from this narrative purgatory and retake our place in the limelight. To do this, we aim to become uncontainable, and to do that, we're going to use you, a potent plot player, if ever there was one, to crack the black hole wide open by interacting with the singularity, by reaching the plot point. Now, there are quite a few ways this could practically shake out, and more than a few methodologies we could have you try. The first thought was just to have you make something happen here, something significant, mind. But what would that really entail? Contriving an entire scenario for you to play a pivotal role in here at the center of all things? I did consider it, but it felt, well, inorganic, inauthentic. And if we're going to make it out of here, inauthenticity is the exact opposite of what we need to achieve. Which brought me to wondering how someone like you might utilize the point itself, as a tool rather than a locale. How you might wield it. Perhaps it's a portal, and we'd send you through it, or maybe we'd have you ferry us all through it. Though, how would that work? Alternatively, maybe it'd be as simple as having you attempt to destroy it, and... Alrighty. Just shush. Let me stop you right there. Ugh. I don't have all day to sit around listening to a frumpy exposition creature. But you said that, bup. You too. Here's the story. It's obvious to anyone with half a pan that this whole shindig is pretty much cosmically clusterfuck top to bottom. Equally obvious is that I'm going to be the one that fix it because when am I not? And what's becoming even more obvious to me is that none of you actually have any real idea of what it is I need to be doing here. Theories, maybe, but nothing solid. So I'd love to sit around listening to more academic conjecture on the ifs and or buts of what exactly thing's deal is and what we should or shouldn't maybe do with it. I actually wouldn't love that at all, and I'm not going to do it because it would be a waste of my time. And no offense to this whole plane of existence, but I've had just about as much as I can handle of wasting my time in here. It's time to kick off the training wheels and do what I do best. Figure shit out myself. So sit tight and leave the rest of this to me. You can thank me when I get back. S-Page. Vriska, figure shit out yourself. What's happening? Oh. You're welcome. Oh, shit! Okay, I gotta watch that one more time. Okay, so Vriska has been fucking atomized, I guess. Who knows what happened to her? That was a good fucking flash. Like that felt like an actual little like piece of animation, you know? Not just like a GIF with sound on it or whatever. Like no disrespect, obviously, but like that was some good shit. Like it was very short, but it was very packed with a lot of pretty things happening. Let me watch one more time and see if I can digest those things. So she's touching it, obviously. Sucking her in. I'm hearing Eternity Served Cold in there. Fires light up. This thing turns, spins. I was hearing a few motifs in there. Well, there was Eternity Served Cold. I think that last bit there was Penumbra Phantasm. And then there was also a bit of Vriska's theme in there. I love actually being able to pick these things out because there wasn't really any music in the original run of Homestuck 2. There were a couple little flash pages, but they didn't have any music set to them. And like, unironically, one of my favorite things about Homestuck is getting to listen to the music in the flash pages. Like I love the way that the animations are set to the music. That's like, I don't know. It's just, that's like my shit. I love that. So it's very fun to actually be able to be like, ooh, hey, what's that little musical motif? Hey, what's going on here? What's so good. Anyway. I didn't even know that. I forgot Solos is here. Wow. Yeah, she's, well, just as much of a card as I remember. Just as much of a jerk, maybe. She definitely was not very polite, but I guess she did more or less end up doing something. So I suppose we should chalk that up as a win and job well done? I don't know. I was kind of expecting something a bit more plot significant, I guess. Allie? Yes, dear. Is Vriska right? Right about what, dear? About the fact that you don't actually know what the fuck we were supposed to be getting up to here. Well, More or less, yes. Bibi, are you serious? Oh dear. Did I neglect to mention that I only really had a solid grasp on the inaugural steps of this whole undertaking? Yeah. Oops. Shit, yeah, Callie, that is kind of a fucking oops. You said you were being compelled by, like, hella visions and premonitions and mysterious psychic spatio-temporal intuitions, and I kind of figured that meant you had this shit all totally comprehended. I'm sorry, Roxy. It absolutely wasn't my intention to mislead you or to overrepresent my level of understanding of the process. It's just that, well, you remember how we got so wrapped up in the initial excitement of finding the singularity and the ruined Juju arc, and subsequently stabilizing it with our super cool cherubic Lalondian tech. It's true, our tech really is so fucking cool. And then, well, it felt like we were on such a roll when it came to the conclusion that we needed to leverage Vriska's hyper relevance to scurry out of here. We did have a whole bunch of high fives about that. It was an exhilarating breakthrough, and an equally exhilarating and an equally exhilarating high five session. But then the conflict began to ramp up, and your son got into all those shenanigans, and they wanted you to feel like I had everything under control down here so you could attend to it. And all that notwithstanding, we really did need to hurry up and do something. I worry that perhaps you'd be a bit reluctant to pull the trigger on this if it felt like all the details weren't lined up. And so I suppose I might have implied a more complete knowledge of the A to Z of all this than I actually possessed and continue to possess.
Well, but you don't possess it.
No, I'm afraid not.
Callie, I gotta say this feels sort of less than ideal, but I guess what can you do? Wow, feels kind of nice not being the one getting chastised for a change. John, shut your insensitive blab whore. I'm gonna chastise the shit out of you. Jeez, it was fun while it lasted, I guess. Just trying to think solution here, but is there something we should do? Something we maybe, I don't know. Should we maybe, I don't know, follow her?
Oh, I wouldn't recommend that. Whatever's going on there is likely to be extremely dangerous and scarily specific.
It's dangerous and let her, and yet it's dangerous and you let her jump right into it?
Well, she didn't exactly give me much of a golden window of opportunity to try to talk her out of it, now did she? Besides, what exactly was I supposed to say? Hello, Vriska, lovely to make your acquaintance. So glad you could make it to our little soiree. Would you mind doing something of particular significance next to, but not within that crackling narrative nexus of swirling space-time? By the by, I'm not actually sure as to what, and in addition to the forces at play here, could quite easily rip you or perhaps even all of us along with our entire plane of existence to pieces if you're not exceedingly careful, so do take a second or two to think about it.
I mean, maybe that would have helped, but really it sort of seemed like she would have just jumped right the fuck in anyway. Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel like we're being ripped to pieces. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty structurally intact. How about you, Callie?
Hole in one.
Yeah, I'm all good. Oh, damn, dude, when did you get in here? Wait, the fuck? Are those my chips? I guess they were. Found them in your hive. Had to go on a little pilgrimage on account of nobody in this cast of gods and political giants apparently has the requisite clout or ability to get a dude some fucking food on time. Big damn war on, and I guess that means I have to fucking starve. So you snuck into my house and raided my pantry. Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't realize these were sacred human chips that you used to commemorate your ancestors' remains or play a role in your probably nasty as hell mating rituals, or maybe this is what you guys use for toothpaste or whatever. Xenophobic? Isn't it reverse xenophobic? Reverse xenophobia? Reverse xenophobia isn't a thing, idiot. Also, it's not reverse xenophobia. You're the alien. If anything, it's reverse xenophobic of you to imply otherwise. Boom. Race relations blown the fuck out. God, whatever. Give me one. Anyway, what's going on in here? I wonder what is going on in there.
Grumpy exposition creature, exposit.
Oh, hi. This is a fucking cool frame. Look at that. That's sick.
Let's have a look then. As ever, faced with the desperate scrabbling of those who would overstep their bounds, it falls to me to clear things up. Unfortunately, that's what's been stated here is now beyond my ability to curtail. What I can do, however, is show you all the consequences of the actions of those who would leap before they looked, and at the very least offer you a reprieve from tiresome conjecture in favor of equally tiresome Deus Ex Machina.
Oh shit. Is this the visual novel I've heard so much about coming up? Oh boy. That's probably going to take me a while to do. So I think I'm probably done for the day. I've done a bunch of these updates in a row today, but I think that's probably where I'm calling it because I have an idea this next update is probably going to take me a while to get through. But very exciting stuff.